Hey, 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 what's up? How you doing? This is number 9. You see, I got my mask on. I want to make a point to every Funketeer out there in the world. Today, on Funk from the Front Seat, our special guest, Miss Linda Scheider. That's right, Miss Linda Scheider is going to be here with us. She's on the line right now, but I want to let you guys know, peace and love. Welcome to Funk from the Front Seat. We're going to kick this thing going. You can hear Gary Scheider in the background. The funk getting ready to go. Funk getting ready to roll. I hope all y'all are doing well out there in Facebook land, and we're gonna make sure this thing pops off like it's supposed to. We got Linda Scheider on the line right now. How you doing today, Linda?
I'm doing great. Hi, Zach. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and showing love. I appreciate it.
There you
really
go. David
do.
Brooks is the first one on, and he's telling you hello.
Hey.
Yeah, he's a true funketeer, true funk soldier. Before we get started, Linda, I wanted to ask you how you and your lovely family and everybody's doing. I know you have a lot of family. So how you guys holding up when
We're
it
holding
comes
up
to...
as best we can with this sheltering in place, which is so annoying to have that mask on every time you go outside. Because to me, they're very uncomfortable, but you know you have to do these things to stay safe.
That's right,
Everybody's
that's right.
been cool so far. Garrett and I both got tested because I had a little scare a couple of weeks ago and thought I might be in contact, but I was okay. He was okay, so everybody's good so
Thank
far.
God, thank God. You know, you mentioned something that's important, and I don't know why people aren't doing it. The mask. I know we don't want to wear them. I know they're uncomfortable and hot. Believe me,
They really are.
I don't want to
Yes.
wear mine. It's 100 degrees. I'm marching in the protest trying to wear the mask. But I feel until we find out more, it's a necessary thing. Don't you agree?
I certainly do, and anybody that's not paying attention better be careful because this is no joke.
Yeah, it is not a joke. And I'm glad you got tested. Down here in North Carolina, they're not really sure how we're going to get tested. I actually want to get a test myself because, in my spare time, I drive Uber and I have so many people in my car, and I'm trying to find out.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
find out how. But they said for us, if we're not symptomatic, we can't really get a test just yet. But I'm hoping that changes very shortly. So, yeah, so there's a lot of things we're going to touch on today. Again, Funk from the Front Seat, our special guest is Miss Linda Scheider. We were talking last time in part 1 of your interview about some of the ladies of the P-Funk, and we'll get into the social media stuff and the social aspects of the world a little bit. But I wanted to really touch base about, your thoughts on the ladies of the P-Funk, especially when the whole thing was getting started, because you wanted to touch on that.
Well, like I said, it was okay for us to do sessions. They had no problem with that because P-Funk was pretty much of a boys' club until we kicked that door in.
Right.
And like I said, we could do sessions, but they did not want us on the stage. And finally, Jeanette and Debbie took the plunge and went out there, and it worked. And then, like I said, when Lynn and Dawn came in, and Jessica, myself, Malia, Belita, they kind of like started realizing, and we looked good too. We kind of added to the shows,
Right, exactly. I loved it because we were growing up with it, and we would see different voices on the albums, and we're like, well, who's this, who's that? But then when you guys started hitting the stage with them, like you said, it just added a whole new dimension. Like Bernie used to say, colors. It opened up a whole new pattern of colors with the voices and everything like that. A few shout out to David Brooks. He's watching. Linda, Bobby Icorn, my homie from Bayshore, longtime guitar player, Bill's Guitars now. He's on watching, so they wanted me to tell you hello. I got my girl Sonia. She's watching you, so a lot of people get ready to tune in again. Funk from the Front Seat, Miss Linda Scheider. And we'll talk about ladies of the P-Funk. When you first got in and started doing it heavy, and you and Gary were on stage together for the first time, what was that like?
It was intimidating for me because, like I said, I had so much love for these guys and admired them so much. I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do this.
Right.
But once I got out there, they almost had to grab me and snatch me back because I would be there from the beginning to the end.
Right.
It started feeling good to me, and I couldn't get enough of it after a while.
Yeah, it's like that funk. It's such a contagious thing, and that's what, if the world would just get funky, we wouldn't be in these problems we having now. You know what I mean?
Believe it.
Because one thing I noticed, a funketeer is like it's the fraternity, and once you're a funketeer for life.
Forever.
You know, and it doesn't matter.
So loyal.
That's right.
They're
It doesn't
loyal, and
matter.
some of them have been coming to the show since the 70s and still show up. You know, it's amazing how much of an influence funk has been to the world.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. And now that it has completely, even though I'd say 20 years ago, crossed over, that was a beautiful thing to me, because once it crossed over and it hit so hard and it became this, like you said, commercial giant entity, that really made me feel good. I say this a lot. When P-Funk and Funkadelic went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I felt like we all went in. You know what I mean?
The girls kind of felt a little diss on that because we weren't included. But hey, you know, it is what it is. We were just glad that they got their recognition.
And
that was
too,
okay with me.
And that too will be rectified one day, because you know, there was a lot of controversy with that, and you know, I keep it light on my show. I don't get into the negative stuff, but that too must be rectified, because you guys were a necessary part of what was going on. You know, and still are, and still are.
We all feel the same way, and I know some of the girls have been talking to them about possibly giving us in there, but so far nothing's happened with it. But who knows? It might happen one day.
It's gonna happen one day.
We're still around when it does, because most of my sisters are gone.
I know they are, and that breaks my heart. But it's gonna happen one day, because it deserves to happen, and righteousness will always outweigh the dark. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a funny place that, you know, there's a lot of people that should be in that aren't, but you know, I don't get it, but you know, it's not my decision. But anything I can do to ever promote it, believe me, I will. Let me ask you about Children of Production, and we talked about this a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that band, and are you going to ever try to do that particular unit again?
Well, after we did that album, the whole group kind of disbanded. Some people moved to Florida and they went into other things. The girl bass player they had, first it was called the Lord of Words, Disciples of Bass. Mm-hmm. And then they had a little falling out, and so then we got in the studio and we turned it to Children of Production. The girl bass player that they had, she's flying with a private airline now as a flight attendant. You know, everybody just walked away. One guy's in L.A. also doing music. He did a song called Desert Flower.
Right.
And he worked with us when we did the Ah Rah Rah through Nenny Montez back in the 90s.
Right.
So he became a part of that little situation. That was real nice. We had like a 70-piece orchestra behind us. It was awesome.
Wow.
A couple of people that were playing with us were serious actors that just like to play as well. They came in and joined that particular thing. It's on Facebook. I mean, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Ah Rah Rah.
Okay. Yeah. Send me the link. Yeah, send me the link, and I'll definitely, you know, tag it to whatever I can do. I always think about the past, and then I connect that with where we are in the future. And sometimes I think some things are meant to settle and boil for a minute, and then they come back when they're supposed to. And I really, really do hope one day you put that back together, in addition to your many other projects that you're working with.
I was listening to some of those songs the other night, and I was like, gosh, this stuff was pretty cool. It was me, Gary, and Mudbone doing most of the vocals. In fact, me doing most of the lead vocals. And I was saying, damn, this stuff sounds really good. But it never got put out. I think maybe some of that might be on YouTube as well. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Because I think I've heard someone mention that song I just mentioned before, Desert Flower.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put that on my Facebook page. So I guess it's available to somewhere. I just don't know for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that happens like that, because I know I got music out and I see it some places. I'm like, I don't even know how it got there. But listen, if you need a drummer, hey, I'm available. I definitely go out with you.
I hear you.
I'm all healed and I'm ready to go. You know, I'm itching to work.
You know, my son Garrett has his group. He works. Well, he hasn't been working now because of this virus thing.
Yeah.
But he has a group that he's been trying to promote, and so maybe he can hire you, because putting the band together, I did that once with my group Legs in Atlanta, and I found it so trying, because I was booking, singing, writing, playing, and it was like, it was a lot.
It is a lot.
We were the band that Andrew Young used when he was running for mayor down there.
Okay.
And we used to do a lot of shows for him.
Okay.
For helping promote his becoming mayor of Atlanta.
Right. That's deep.
My group.
See, that's something we didn't know. Tell us about that. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
It was just, I had started writing some stuff and had met some of these musicians in Atlanta, and we decided to put a group together called Legs. We worked all over Atlanta. We worked with Mother's Finest, the group, the Georgia Satellites. We used to work with them a lot.
Right.
And we did a couple of recordings. we had a guy that was supposed to be putting us out on his label, but we just couldn't come to agreement about the deal, so we just squashed it. But once again, that song, one of my songs, It Don't Come Easy, came from that group Legs.
Right.
Kenny Gambrell was my bass player. He came out as a roadie with P-Funk for a while, but he ended up having an accident and got killed, and took a lot of, because he was like my lead, my band leader rather, and he was a good friend. So that kind of like took the legs out of that whole situation, and we decided to disband that and keep it moving again.
Yeah.
You know, stuff happens. You can't help. You know, fate.
Life goes.
It's a mighty destroyer.
That's right. I wanted to give a couple of shout outs. Sonia Murphy says hello. Tammy Taylor says hello. Sophie says hello, Linda. David Brooks obviously says hello. Bobby Icorn says hello. A lot of people are watching. Maria Johnson just signed on. Again, we're here live with Miss Linda Scheider, Funk from the Front Seat, and we're just talking about a lot of stuff that's going on with the music scene and everything else. And I'm gracious to have Linda. You know, she's amazing. She's awesome. And we've talked a little bit about GarageBand and, you know, her other projects that she's doing and some of the songs that she's written from back, you know, in the day with Parlette and everything. And Linda, I wanted to ask you, when you were first involved in the writing process and you went into the studio, were you actually able to sit down and say, listen, I want you guys to play this, this, and this, or was it more of an organic experience? Curtis.
It became more organic. There was a baby grand in the studio, and when we weren't doing anything inside, I would go and start playing. And George came out one day and heard the song I did for the Parlette and said, hey, Linda, I like that. Can I use it? I said, sure. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to be a songwriter now, for real, you know?
Right.
And so I did that one and a few others. Gary kind of said I took him into a pop field with some of my songs, which I kind of guess I did because that was like something I liked a lot. Pop music was kind of cool at the time, and I used to listen to people like the Rolling Stones and, you know, Led Zeppelin and people like that. They were like that was the kind of stuff that my group used to do. When we did perform, we would do some of my originals, but we did some rock and roll stuff like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin.
Oh, I love
Black
that stuff.
Sabbath. You know, we went into all different kind of genres, you know. We were just hearing stuff, you know, and we decided to go and play it.
Yeah. I love that stuff. And when you mentioned one of my favorite groups, we got the chance to open up for them when they came through down here, Mother's Finest. You know, they were very cool about it, and you know, we actually
was awesome. She was a pretty good friend of mine. I admired her so much, and her voice was just so powerful.
Yeah.
I was, oh my God, you know, she's a great person, a lot of fun, very down to earth.
Yes, Joyce is. Yep.
Both of them.
I got a chance to hang with them for a minute, and we actually did some P-Funk stuff, you know, and we were fortunate because, you know, it's weird how some things happen and then they come back around and loop around, and like I said, you know, we did a little bit, and you know, it was great to like, I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm opening up for Mother's Finest, you know what I mean? Because like you said, she's a beast up there. As you are, don't sell yourself short. Do not sell yourself short. Okay. So now that we're here in 2020, there was one thing that I was thinking about last night as we were talking or whatever, and how with Gary, and I know the 16th is a very special day for all of us. And, you know, you and I spoke about this privately, and I'm not going to dwell too much in it because it's not really a sad thing. But it's been 10 years, and it still feels like yesterday.
It feels like that to me. You better believe it.
I know it does, sweetie. And I heard for you. Believe me, we all feel, you know, not as much as you, but we understand. We get it. As Funketeers, we're one family. So when what hurts one of us hurts all of us. But if you could hear what Gary would tell you today about the current situation with the Black Lives Matter and the people protesting, what do you think his opinion would be about today, music aside?
Gary was not really very political. I mean, he was all about music. I mean, he lived and breathed it.
Right.
So he probably would have found a way to like make that like the catalyst, or that would be his foundation for speaking about these things going on right now.
Yes.
Because, like I said, music is universal, and there's a message in the music sometimes that really hits home.
Yes.
And like you said, One Nation, especially at this time, we should all be going in that direction. We have to stand up for each other and have each other's backs and make sure that this government stops messing us around with all the things they've done to us over the years. It's time for it to stop.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. Over 400 years of this madness is too much.
Isn't it something?
We've been the victims for too long.
That's right. And it's funny because I'm listening, and you try to get bits and pieces, but you can't get overwhelmed with the news, and people are like, well, we're taking down this, we're taking down that. But I'm like, well, damn, it's been 400 years. Why did it have to be 400 years before you realize this is wrong? What do you think is wrong with the basic fundamentals in this country when it comes to racism, when it comes to passing it from generation to generation?
And that's what it is. They teach it to their children, who teach it to their children, and it's been going on, like we said, for over 400 years.
Yep.
And unfortunately, our president has brought those people to the surface. They were underground for quite a while, doing their things behind, in the background, unnoticed. And now he's giving them a platform, and here they are showing themselves everywhere you look.
Ain't it a shame? It's ridiculous. It's I've been involved in a lot of the protests, the ones that I can make, and I'm trying to stay as much as I can because I got 2 children, 2 daughters, 16 and 12, and my dad marched, and it was my turn to get out there and do it. And one of the things I saw that I really liked, I saw a rainbow, a sea of colors, and people in generations, and different genders and race, religion, creeds. So I think we might have cracked the surface for this, but we still got so far to go.
Yes, we do it. And I'm hoping that once the cameras walk away and the protest might subside, that things don't go back to normal again.
Exactly.
I hope that this is where it's really going to start to change.
I really do. I agree with you. I hope this is the new normal, as they say. And really, can you hammer home how important it is for people to really get out this November?
If they can't see how crucial it is to vote this time, people are definitely not paying attention. And I can't believe that with all this going on and the media showing all this stuff that's going on and talking about the past, that people don't realize this. If it's never been more important to vote than it would be this year.
That's right.
To get that man out of that White House.
That's right.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's definitely Beelzebub up there. And, the insensitivity, and I don't buy this tone deaf word, because that's just another word. But what he's going to do in Tulsa and what he's trying to do in Jacksonville on the anniversary of certain days, here we are, 400 years, and people get a Holocaust holiday, or not a holiday, but a recognized day, right? And I'm not knocking that because that's beautiful to me, but when are we going to get our Holocaust recognized day? You know what I mean?
Yes. It seems like it's a long time coming, and God knows when. I don't know. I just don't have much faith in our government as it's set up to make things change because, like I said, politicians talk a good game, but once they get in office, it's about taking money, getting richer, and they seem to forget how they got there in the first place. People are counting on them to make things change, but they don't ever seem to do so.
That's right.
Look at this guy, Rand Paul, who still won't even pass the lynching bill after how many years?
I know.
Ridiculous.
I know. And then people act like, the politicians act like, well, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. I'm like, how you not notice it? You right there, you're the ones writing these bills. And when somebody brings it up to you, you reject it. How do you not understand, like, there's a whole subculture of people in this country that are being oppressed day in, day out because of their skin color. Nothing else. Nothing else. I don't care how much money LeBron James got. In the end of the day, what did he think, what is he perceived as? You know what I mean?
And you know what? He can probably still not drive down the street without getting pulled over.
That's right.
Most of the NFL black players are saying that happens to them. The NBA players have to go through that. You're driving a Rolls Royce and you're a black man. What the hell are you doing with the Rolls Royce? Pull his ass over and see what's going on with him. That kind of stuff is still going on, even with celebrities.
That's right. There was a I think a tennis player that was on tour, light-skinned black man, and he got beat up in New York City. Coming out of the hotel. He was coming out of like the Waldorf or something like that. I'm not sure. But a fancy hotel, the cops mistakenly, the quote they use, we mistakenly thought he was a criminal. And the guy's he's on his way to play at Flushing Meadows. He's carrying his tennis stuff. And he's telling them, I'm a tennis pro, I got a match in a few hours. and they threw him on the ground, roughed him up. He missed his match. They beat him up. He ended up suing, but the blue wall of silence, because I know there was somebody that was there that knew that man.
Knew him, yeah.
Yep.
Probably so.
Yep. And you know,
that's
the politics.
Thing, the cops protect each other. They protect each other, and the union gives them a carte blanche to do whatever they want to do.
That's right.
They're so powerful.
That's right. And you know, the sad part is, it's like the laws are built in to protect dirty cops. You know,
yes.
They're innocent all the time. Recently in Minneapolis, they let one of the police out on bail. And I'm like, how's this guy out on bail? You know what I mean?
Their bail was awful high, so the police union probably chipped in to get him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Their bail was over $1 million. And
yes, it was.
As a cop, you don't make that kind of money.
That's right.
Where they come from?
Yep, that's right. Again, we're here live, Funk from the Front Seat with Miss Linda Scheider. We got a lot of people saying hello. Curtis said, you know, you're right. A lot of people are watching. Maria Johnson, Sonia, how you doing, Sonia? Sophie, how you doing, Tammy? David Brooks is on the line. A lot of people are checking us out, Linda, and people want to know.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for listening.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love you for that. You're so gracious, and I'm so humbled to have you. And now let's talk a little bit about your blues project, which we didn't really get a chance to get into last time. You're writing the songs.
This virus kind of inspired me to write a song. I wrote a song called Coronavirus Blues.
Okay.
And unfortunately, because of the sheltering in place, I've only been able to get some of it recorded. This guy, Jimmy Cirillo, he did the guitar, and he did the vocals for me, because I sound like more like a man song to me. And then the feel he had was so cool, I decided to let it ride. I might try to do some stuff with, in between him, give him the lead, but try to maybe color it a little bit with my vocals.
Right.
But so far we haven't been able to get to the studio to finish it, so I'm still working on it. Hope I can get it done before the virus goes away.
Hey, Lance. Yeah. You know, it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what happened to us. We recorded 3 tracks for our new CD, then had to stop. You know, and I record up in Philly, at my man Kevin's place, and you know, we rehearsed in New York, so I'm really stuck because I'm here in North Carolina, and I was trying to travel, figure out how I can do that. But you know what? I put it in God's hands, and I was like, all right, when it's time, it's time. You know, and to Atlanta, and I want your opinion about this, because I'm trying to set up shop there, even though I live here. Do you think Atlanta is going to be the new spot for production and everything else, given now that Tyler Perry's down there for a while? What do you think about that?
Well, it was for a while, because if you think about it, TLC and all the female groups, and some Cameo was down there for a while. They had
right.
It kind of blew up. Dallas Austin made it, it was really popping, especially now in the film and TV industry. There's a lot of production going on there with TVs and movies. And so, like I said, it's become a very artistic area. So is Asheville, North Carolina. I don't know what part of North Carolina you're in, but Asheville has a hell of a music scene.
It really does. I'm about 3.5 hours from Asheville, because I live in Durham. I'm close to Raleigh. But yes, Asheville is a nice spot. I've been up there a few times and checked out the vibe. It's got a real hippie vibe that I really like, because I'm a hippie.
Yes,
you know?
It does.
Yeah, I love it. I'm hoping to get some stuff popping over there, trying to meet people, because the funk scene, the serious funk scene, needs to explode, and it could, because funk is like a festival type music. Getting back to Atlanta, when you were in Atlanta, and this is very interesting to me, working with Mr. Young, how did he perceive that Atlanta was going to blow up when it came to the political aspects of it? Because there's still some funky stuff going on there.
It certainly is, and it has not changed. I put something on Facebook myself when all this started, about when we first moved down there. We had moved to a place called Riverdale, Georgia, which is kind of like a little suburb of Atlanta.
Right.
And I came around the corner to go shopping to fill my refrigerator, and ran to a Klan rally. Wow. I had never seen the Klan except on television, and here they were with their hoods and stuff on, with guns on their hips, and here I am in a car by myself, and I was right in the middle of it, and they all looked at me real crazy, scared me to death. But then I got mad, and I just gunned my engine like, okay, come on with it. And when they saw me do that, they let me through.
Right. You know, that would have to be a scary situation.
You better believe it.
And you
I'll
know,
never forget that.
That's right. And you don't know what's going to happen when your life is in fear. And this is something that a lot of people that aren't black and brown and Native American don't really get it. They say, well, yes, you know, you had an opportunity and you got away and everything's all right. But the psychological damage just one time, and imagine every single day. And that's why I try to explain people, you don't understand. When we come out, we have on a brown suit automatically. So every single day, psychologically, we're automatically thinking, okay, where's the racism at? Where's it going to come from today? How am I going to see it? And I hate to think like that, but that's our reality, you know?
Exactly. You have to tell your sons before they go out of the house. I gave my sons a booklet about how to deal with the police if they got stopped and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes doing the right thing doesn't matter.
Yes.
You know, if their mindset is racist, they don't care whether you're being nice. It's like George Floyd saying,
right,
"Please get off my neck, sir." And you know that didn't cut any ice. You know, it just depends on what kind of cop you're dealing with at the time, how things are going to end up, and you never know.
Right.
You never know.
That's right. And what kind of mood they're in, because that's happened to me in New York, coming back from gigs over to Verrazano, and I got a car full of drums, but yet every time I went through the toll booth, if I went through there 5 times, they was going to pull me over at least twice. And I'm paying you at the toll booth. You see the stuff in my car, but yet you still going to wait till I pay, come through, and then pull me over and ask me, where am I going? Where am I coming from? You know, and it got to be routine. And I was like, I shouldn't even have to live like this. It's ridiculous, you know. Racism, I'm going to fight this tooth and nail the best I can. I'm writing a few songs right now. You know, I got a few things that I'm writing for COVID, but I'm also, you know, writing a Black Lives Matters song. You know, it's going to be funky and hard, but, you know, I'm going to really put some truth into it. And people may not like it, but, you know, that's just the way it is. Because we got to use our voices. I'm so glad you're using your voice. Again, we're live on Funk from the Front Seat with Miss Linda Scheider. We're getting into a lot of things. And getting back to Gary, he was such a musical genius. Where did he get the nickname like Cochise or Little Chief? Because I heard Boosie refer to that. And I always wanted to know that. This is just a question that was in my mind. Where did that come from?
Now that one I can't, because I never heard anybody call him by that handle. I always had, he was either Diaper Man or Star Child. That's something new on me. I can't give you any info on that because I never heard that.
Yeah, Boosie.
I don't know.
Boosie said that.
Boosie had a very close relationship. In fact, we were there when he got married. Gary was his best man at his wedding.
At Boosie's?
You know, they were very tight, and they used to record a lot together.
Yes.
Boosie really had a lot of respect for Gary's musical stuff.
Oh, he totally did, because you could hear it. You know, Vanish in Our Sleep and songs like that, and Physical Love. And Boosie said it on the CD as well. You know, he said, okay, Little Chief, you know what I mean? And he was talking about Gary. And I was like, wow, because I'm always like very, like I said, fly on the wall kind of guy. But I'm listening. I am. I'm listening to all these things.
I don't remember hearing that. I have to go back and listen. I don't ever remember hearing that, but I'm sure check it out now that you brought it up.
Yep. That's what he said. He said, you know, not the CD that Bootsy put out, but the one before that, and they did a remake. And he says, yes, hi, Little Chief, and he's talking about Gary because Gary's taking a solo there. So I was like, I wonder where that came from. You know.
No, that must have been something personal between those two.
I think yes.
I have no knowledge of that.
Yes,
so I can't speak on it.
It was code. It was definitely code because there's a lot of coded stuff in there, like the pyramids. I'm having such a good time talking to you again. We're live, Funk from the Front Seat with Miss Linda Scheider, and we just sitting back kicking it. There's a few things, you know, none of the music is mine, so if you're listening to it, I do have permission to play it. Facebook, thank you very much. Got that disclaimer out the way. Again, you know, it's been 10 years. I'm 6/16, and we're all going to do something special for Gary on the 16th. I'll be playing his music all day in my car. I'm for sure going to post stuff. I'm gracious to have you on. And it's ironic that, you know, with everything that's happening, getting back to one nation under groove, getting down just for the funk of it, you know, here's your chance, you know, and that first opening line, here's your chance, you know, and we got to...
That's your way to do your thing, the best, to do your thing, whatever it is.
That's
and
right.
We should all have the option and the right to do so.
That's right.
No matter what color we are.
That's
you know?
right. That's right. And I think that's...
Live your best life.
I think that's a very important message. And, you know, we talked a little bit about Gary and his new projects. And last time we spoke, you said he was in Vegas shooting his video. So did he get that finished yet, or he's still there?
I think it's being edited. Trezay one of George's grandkids. He was the one that brought him out there to do it, and so he's doing the last bit of editing on it. So I haven't actually seen it myself yet, but I'm sure he'll throw it out there once it's done.
Right. Yeah, that'll be cool. And I want to get Garrett on the show. I haven't bothered him about it. I did text him about the show, but I know he's really busy. So here's something that I wanted to bring up as well. You're listening to this in the background, right? And once the new old version came back out and Garrett put that out, right? I wanted your opinion about how it kind of got remade in the studio when George came in, but the original version, are you guys going to really put that back out again? Because we would love that as fans.
Which song are you talking about?
This song.
I can't hear it. I can't hear you. I can't hear it.
Promento, Shit, Backwash, Psychosis, Enema Squad.
Oh, gosh. That song made me so angry with George. I went at him. I said, you really took a song, a love song, and turned it into little S-H-I-T. Literally, okay?
Right.
Dude, and he just laughed. I said, okay, real funny, George. Garrett, I think he's going to do it without the other stuff on it. He's going to do the original version. I don't know if he's put it out yet, or I think he said he was going to.
Yeah,
he put it out without all the extras going on, just a straight up love song.
Yeah, JTR.
Say that we were like, they called us the Ashford and Simpson of the funk, because that's what we were so in love and loved working together, and so that's the kind of stuff that we would write together. Some stuff was a little bit more for me on the rock side, of course, and him doing, like I said, all his guitar stuff, and he used to really give me a lot of freedom to express myself, and he would just figure out how to make it work all the time.
Yep.
We did a lot of I was looking at, once again, all these tapes and stuff of music we recorded over the years and listened to everything, and it was like, wow, I had no idea we had done that much music together. But unfortunately, it's on different formats like reel-to-reel and ADAT, and they're not really available to transfer anymore. So I don't know what to do with them except listen to them when I can.
Right. You know what? If you check out my friend in New York City, Ian London Studios, Ken Wallace, and you guys know the Wallaces. Ken Wallace, he could take your stuff and get it to where it has to be. Because Kenny, and so can my friend Kevin in Philadelphia, K and Jams, he can do it as well. There are a few people that can actually do it. My friend Jick down here, he'd be able to pull it off too. There's a few places. And if you need information, I'll definitely send it to you. Sonia. Hi, Sonia. Sonia said Cabin Fever is awesome, and the video snippet is phenomenal that Garrett's doing.
She saw it already,
Yeah, she heard it.
Kind of like on the dark side to me. I'm like, where you're going in a different direction here, dude.
Yeah.
It's so dark. I said, okay. I said, I guess that's how you're feeling being cooped up.
Yeah.
You gotta get out in the sunshine a little bit, brother, okay?
That's right.
Get some sunshine on your back and get some of that darkness out of your head now.
That's right.
He took his music in another direction. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah,
very different.
And that's what happens.
Different.
That's what happens, because sometimes you feel it and you just got to put it. But what I wanted to ask you, getting back to what you said, the Ashford and Simpson of funk. When I heard this song, Promento, Shit, Backwash, Psychosis, Enema Squad, it made me cry. And it wasn't because of what George was saying on top. I could feel, and we as funk fans can feel what you and Gary were portraying to us with your love story. This song cries, oh my God, it cries out to you, screaming that these people are in love. I loved it. Hey, Kimberly, I loved it. We as fans, when we heard this, we're like, that's different, but we can hear it underneath. And believe me, it came through. It came through. And I can't wait to hear the original version, like it should always be,
Yeah. Well, Garrett said he's going to do it if he hasn't already. I don't know if it's on his new album or not, but I know he said he was going to redo it and just do it the natural way,
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll do a good job, because he's awesome.
He will, for sure,
very proud of him.
Yep.
Very proud of him. And Gary would be too.
Yeah, I always tell Garrett that, even when, people say this and that, I always give him a text and, hit him up on Facebook. And I know he appreciates it, because a lot of us feel that way. Because, I tell him, listen, bro, don't even pay attention to what the haters say, because that's wasted energy, And we all feel, believe me, every artist, you're an artist, if somebody says something, it does bother us, but we can't always react. But it hurts. It does.
Of course.
It does.
Of course. When people don't feel where you're coming from, it's like, and you're creative, and you're being a creative person, it kind of like, it's like a punch in the chest,
That's right.
But you have to keep it moving. You can't let the naysayers keep you from doing what you love.
That's right.
Can't.
That's right. We're here live. A few shout outs. We're gracious enough to have on our show today, Funk from the Front Seat, Miss Linda Shider, Part 2. Mark Lee says hello. Curtis is watching. Sonia said yes.
Hey.
Cabin fever's a big drive you crazy. It's a big scary into the darkness. Kimberly says hello. Curtis says hello. David Brooks, Lance Dandridge says hello. They love you, Linda. Sherry says hello. Michael Holmes says hello. A lot of people are digging what you do and how you've done it, and I gotta tell you, you've always been the utmost, like, if I could compare you to, like, say, Michelle Obama, class. That's what I can say. You're a classy, true funk soldier, funketeer. You just exude class, and that's one thing that I always respected about you and a lot of the P-Funk ladies, no matter what was really happening. You guys always held your head up, and that means a lot, to us that are watching from the outskirts, and you set such a high bar to set such a good example. And a lot of young ladies, like my daughters, they never met you, but they know all about the P-Funk, so they know who you are. They believe me, they do.
I have found over the years in meeting other female artists, some of them can be very arrogant and very divish, and that I could never. That's just not me. That's just not me. Even at the peak of my career in the music business, I never felt I could just diss somebody or disrespect somebody or be nasty to them unless they were coming at me funny.
Yeah.
Then I might have to check them, but not normally. I just was like glad to be around and glad to feel the love.
Yeah.
And I tried to give it back every chance I got.
Yeah. And that comes across in a huge way. Let me tell you, being who you are in the business, and you're like a giant, and writing songs and all this other stuff. If you were going to say something to the young ladies out there that want to get into this business, a lot of them are doing it. What would be some advice that you would give to the young ladies and young men out there that want to do this thing?
First of all, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to surround yourself with people that also believe in you and your vision. It's very important that you have a fan base and a solid base of professionals around you to help you go where you're going.
Right.
And for the women especially, we have to be careful because a lot of times we get thrown into the casting couch mode, and you have to have enough respect for yourself and what you're doing to not let that affect you and keep it moving. If that person is going to come at you funky like that, then you find somebody else to deal with. Until you find the right person, you have to keep searching and keep believing and just go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That's right. That's right. You said something very important, surrounding yourself with the right players and the right attitude and the right people.
Yes, that's very important.
That's a major thing, which I'm learning, and I'm still learning it, and you find out as you go. Because there's no manual to doing this thing,
It certainly is not. And it's trial and error. And if this company or person does not believe, you just have to keep it moving and find something until you find the right person and the right mix of people around you to make sure that your career goes where you want it to go.
Yeah, that's right. Mad shouts out. Again, live, Funk from the Front Seat. We're live with Miss Linda Shider. My man Terry Holland, is watching, and Michael Holmes says hello, and here we are with Linda Shider. I'm humbled and grateful to have her on the show, and we're just kicking it back. Obviously, June 16th is the day that Gary passed on, but he's still with us in our hearts, and we're going to be doing some type of music for him. For sure. I know Keith Jackson, JTRP is going to pump it up. I know Gabe is probably going to do something. I know Philly Phil down in Texas, he's going to do something. So, I'm going to just Facebook post some music that's special to me, that you guys did. And I just want to, keep his, not memory because he's not gone, but keep the goal in front of us that he put out there. Because he's one of the giants. He's on the Mount Rushmore. As you are, and the information that he left us, guys like me, to go ahead and do, I'm grateful to have it. It's like having an encyclopedia of music.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story about an interview. I saw him do a TV interview back in the day, and he looked so humble and so natural. And then the guy asked him, "What do you like to do when you go home?" He said, "I like to work in the yard and cut my grass." And it made me cry because I could see he meant that. You know, he was also a very down to earth person.
Yep.
He didn't take himself too seriously. And I mean, he could get arrogant when he wanted to in certain situations, like anybody else.
Right.
If you feel somebody's coming at you, punky, you know.
Yep.
But it was just such a open, down to earth, loving guy. He was a great father to our kids.
Yes.
He was just very welcoming. Sometimes he would just come by our house that we didn't know. They found out where we lived, and they come over. Come on in. Come in the studio. Hear what we're working on. You know, he was that kind of guy.
Yeah. I definitely got
that power too. Trust me.
Yeah.
Musically and personally.
Yes. And I got that the time, like I told you, I had brought him home, and dropped him off, and we was talking about stuff or whatever. And like you said, just a down-to-earth kind of person. And here I am, as a kid, I'm looking in Jet magazine and seeing this man, playing in Sold Out Soldier Field in Chicago. And then I have him in the backseat of my car later on in life, and I was just like over the top. For me, I'll
tell you, one of the biggest shows we did was Woodstock, and to see all those people out there, and another one was Central Park.
Yes.
Where we had like about 300,000 people in the audience.
Yes.
And also we went down to the Aruba to do a Sinbad show.
Right.
Those kind of things, you can't use, the love was just so overwhelming. It just takes your breath away.
Yeah. And that's very cool. You mentioned Sinbad. See, what made me kind of upset, I couldn't figure out why not enough other supporters and sponsors helped Sinbad get that and finish that, because he was doing that with a lot of his own money. And it bothered me because I was like, this is something that's great, that's promoting artists that need to be promoted, not Funkadelic and Parliament, because they were already blown up. But just the fact that it was giving another platform for that type of venue, those open air, huge venues. And it pissed me off that a lot of people didn't come out and back him like it should have. That bothered me. And I'm still upset.
Well, from what I had a friend that worked on his production company on his TV show, and I found that his career was destroyed because he was hiring black directors and ADs and people, putting them into the business, helping them get credentials and stuff, and the network didn't like it, and that's why they kind of squashed him.
Yes, and he
was giving too much love for them. They didn't
exactly
like that.
And he was a pioneer when it comes to that, because he came from that, and you could see his sincerity when he would come out and introduce the acts. Because I know Larry Graham, I saw it on TV there, you guys were there, and I was like, this is it. I was like, this is like, the 70s are back. You know what I'm saying? They're just blowing it up, and then all of a sudden, in a couple of years, it was gone. Because I was like, one day I'm gonna be over there. You know what I mean? Playing. And it just, I don't get it. I mean, the business, frankly, is all screwed up anyway, but even there, with the funk, that racial stuff tried to kick in and mess it up. Sir knows.
Yes.
Yep.
And that was his downfall, trying to give a heads up and a helping hand to people like us.
That's right.
The industry. I always say there's show business, but the business part is the most important, because that's where the money is, in publishing and stuff.
That's
and
right.
A lot of artists don't know. They're so grateful to get a deal or get their stuff out. They don't think about that part of it.
Yep.
But the business, to me, the business of the show business, the business part sucks. Basically.
It does.
It can destroy an artist. It can squash him in a heartbeat, or they'll rip you off. You're publishing something. There's always some kind of snake in the woodwork.
That's right. And
that's why I said having a good crew around you is crucial.
That's right. Really, and you can't say it enough about the business part. Trust me. People need to constantly hear that, because the way people treat you in front of your face don't mean that they're your real business partners. And I found that out.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Nope.
I found that out the hard way. And I learned some valuable lessons by music and the publishing part of it and things of that nature. Because like you said, sometimes people are just so happy to get up there, they forget that business part of it.
Yeah. And that's important for longevity, and to make sure that you protect your cash.
Yep, that's right. Watch your money.
That you have control of it.
That's
you
right.
Control your destiny.
That's
and your
right.
career.
That's right. That's right. Here we are live, Funk from the Front Seat. Our special guest today, Miss Linda Scheider. We just sitting back, kicking it like we always do, talking about Gary Scheider, talking about her son Garrett, the very talented Garrett Scheider, and, you know, some projects that Linda's working on. And, you know, she's got this blues song that she's doing, Coronavirus Blues. I know the song was written about the coronavirus, but when you wrote the song, most people think of the blues as being this sad thing. Where were you coming from when that song hit you and you penned those words?
It was because of feeling closed in and not being able to be out in the world and breathe and have to put a mask on and seeing all the casualties of this virus. And having a personal friend that died about 2 weeks after it got really bad up in New York.
Right.
And it kind of like started hitting, in my head, like I have to figure out some kind of way to express how I feel about this, how this stuff is going. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the words are like, I'm scared because we seem to be so completely unprepared. The powerful people don't seem to care too much about the common people and their futures and such, while the first responders seem to care too much, so I'm scared.
Yeah.
That's the first verse, and that's where I was going with that,
Okay. Curtis says, whoop, whoop. Sonia says, yeah, big ups about the Sinbad story, because that's an interesting story. I love talking to, guests like you, because we find out so much about stuff that we never really knew, and we get to kind of know you from a different point of view, because we're all trapped. You know what I mean? So now everybody can kind of just say, hey, this is happening or that happened, or, I remember when this happened or whatever, because we're just kind of confined, even though the world is trying to open up, which personally, I think is way too early. I know people got to work, but believe me, down south here, people are like, good to go. And I'm like, no, we ain't good to go.
We're not good.
We're not yet.
And this is all about money. It's not about people's lives or health or anything.
Right.
It's about money.
That's right.
And that's why they're pushing everybody to go out there and make themselves sick.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Have you been able to get to any of the protests up in your area?
No, because it's been so hot.
That's right.
I did my bit back when I was with SNCC, before I even got really serious into the music business. My first year of college, I was working very closely with Stokely Carmichael and Cleve Sellers and the Cleavers coming up with a program and a platform for that whole organization. And I went out protesting one day, and the cops. I was at Tennessee State, Nashville. We were protesting. Stokely had us fired up when I first met him, and we got together and started talking about things and politics and stuff. So all of us as kids go out there to protest, and they started shooting at us. And I ran into a phone booth trying to get away from them and ducked down, and all this glass was just coming all over me because they were shooting at the phone booth. So I feel like I did my bit.
So this is interesting. You actually got shot at in the 70s protesting with Stokely.
Yes, protesting. And we weren't fighting, we weren't throwing rocks or anything. We were just walking down the street protesting Black Power and stuff, and they started shooting at us.
Right. That's incredible. That could have been like Kent State.
Yeah, it was pretty much that kind of situation.
Wow.
Some people got wounded. I don't think they killed anybody, but they sure came at us with heavy weapons.
Wow.
That's back to campus.
That's deep. So you have most def paid your dues. And I tell people, everybody doesn't have to be out there, but everybody's voice is being heard through social media, because a lot of people are upset because this one didn't. That's why I was glad when what David Chappelle said. I was happy.
I didn't hear what he said. What did he say?
He came out with a special, and it's on YouTube. But he said, because Don Lemon of CNN, and I don't watch too much news, but I get my information from all different channels and sources. And Don Lemon said, well, he doesn't understand why more celebrities aren't coming out, right? And then, you know,
I don't know if you saw that Nick Cannon video.
yes,
About that was awesome.
yes, it was.
And
yes,
that's
it was.
definitely not his normal kind of music. But
That's
when
right.
that was great.
And that image
was awesome.
of him laying on the curb sticks in my head. And with that video. And anyway, Don Lemon says he doesn't understand why this one, that one ain't coming out, this and that. And everybody, I think, was doing it in their own way or still trying to figure out how. But Dave Chappelle said, I'm a comedian. He said, nobody's going to give a blank what I think right now. He said, so that's why I didn't come out. Now he came out with something, and he definitely, checked Don Lemon. He said, you have no right to say who should do what. He said, because we're all affected. He said, I'm still a black man. He said, so when I go out of the house, they're still going to try to get me. He said, and nobody wanted to hear that people are unemployed, people are sick, people are dying. We're having, this racial divide try to come together. He said, nobody's going to give a blank what David Chappelle thinks about that at the moment, because it was too fresh, and he was saying he wanted to let the family get past everything,
Well, I'll tell you something that kind of stuck.
That's right, son.
At the service in Minneapolis where Kevin Hart was sitting next to Ludacris.
Yes.
And he's sitting there laughing and giggling and stuff, and I'm like, that's not the place for this.
Yes.
And I could tell that Ludacris was not really feeling him, whatever he was saying in his ear and giggling about it, because he gave him a look like, dude, I'm not feeling this. And he turned around and he basically kind of turned his back to him.
Good.
To let him know, I'm not dancing with this, okay?
Good.
Because this is very out of place.
That's right. Good. And there is a special place and time to do your giggling. And like you said, that was not the place. That was not the place.
That kind of stuck in my craw. I didn't like that coming from him.
And I'm glad you told me that, because that one got past me, because I didn't watch everything. I'm kind of like, I try to keep, my own self light, because, again, I'm a black man too. So, but I'm glad you said that, because, I've seen certain things and people post little things here and I get the whole try to keep it light thing, but I've seen things that people have said, and I thought to myself, I was like, I wonder why you would even think about that at this point where we are with everything. I just don't know sometimes, Linda. It breaks my heart. And again, I'm glad you told me that about Kevin Hart, because I'm not a really big Kevin Hart fan. Yes, he's an entertainer, he's funny, whatever, but I never really took him too serious anyway. But when Chappelle said that, and Sonya agrees, she said David Chappelle is special, powerful, and so is Cannon, and the Nick Cannon video. That's right, Sonya, because
that video really got to me. I was like, this guy is really, he's putting it on. He's putting it out there.
That's right. That's right. And there's going to be more of that. I know it's coming. I think people were just trying to figure out the most appropriate way to pay respect to the situation and still get the message across. And I understand what Don Lemon was saying, because he's on the air every day. So for him, he probably felt like nobody is coming out doing this, because Don Lemon was sincere. But what he has to realize is that everybody isn't on CNN every day. So, and I don't want to get sued by Don Lemon. Don't get me wrong, CNN. I'm not knocking you. But I think he just had to take a step back and realize maybe everybody's trying to grieve in their own way and wrap their mind around it before they do something creative, But Chappelle came out.
Thousands of people out here in the streets. People are paying attention.
Oh, yes.
And a few celebrities are popping in some of the protests, and sometimes it might just be for a photo op, but at least they're showing up in their own way. So I can't knock them for that.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And I know, because I'm out there with them. I've seen all kinds of people that I never seen before down south here coming out and supporting, and it's the common people. And I'm so blessed to be a part of it. I march with my father's NAACP card in my pocket. And that's my inspiration, because I know he was down south in '68 and he was down there. And, he's just a pastor from Long Island. Not a big name, not a celebrity, but I know he was in it. And it made me proud to carry his NAACP card, and I show that from time to time. And it keeps me inspired, because, again, I worry about you and your family, me and my family, all the Funketeers around the world. And I wish more people would pay more respect to how we feel about issues. Because black people in this country have always had the gumption and the know-how and the willingness to pull ourselves up, but we just can't keep getting knocked back down.
Yes, and that's what's happened over and over and over again.
Yep.
And most of us are so busy trying to keep bread on the table that politics is like, something in the back burner. But like I said before, and you said yourself, if anybody was paying attention, if you don't vote this year, and put your 2 cents in and get some of these politicians out that are not helping us, then you're really not serving yourself, your family, or anybody else.
Local and federal. I tell people here,
all the way down the line.
That's right. If people need a ride, I say, listen, I'll ride you. Just give me $1 there and $1 back, and I help you get to vote. I volunteer, and I try to do my thing, and I keep it low key because I try to stay humble with it. I just want to do my little part because I'm really into the music. I need, to get that message out through the gift that I was allowed to use down here. And you have a tremendous gift. Your voice, very powerful in more ways than one. Politically, socially, just guiding people, being a mentor to people like me. We look up to you and aspire to do some of the things that you're doing as well as work with you. And if you have one last thing to say about summing up everything that encompasses 2020, what would you tell people out there in a positive affirmation kind of way to keep their heads up and their spirits going?
You just said it all. Keep your head up. Be proud. Make sure that your voice is heard when it's time to do so. And maybe we can make this change that we need. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. I'm praying, but I think people are finally starting to pay attention to what's been going on in this country all over the world, basically for centuries. Even in Europe now, black people are getting. It used to be someplace to run to. Now they've got so many of us over there. They're having kind of racial stuff going on in certain countries. Like there's too many black people. We don't like this. They're taking over. And it's like, hey, how can we take over when you own everything and you control everything? Come on, give me a break.
That's what I say, because we don't own airlines and ship lines and all this other stuff. I'm like, how are we taking over what? We can't even get a corner store. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that they're usually owned by foreigners.
Exactly.
We can't even...
Exactly.
Even in our own neighborhood, it's Koreans or it's Arabs or Middle Easterns or people like that own all the businesses in our community. Yep. And that's crazy too, to me.
It is. It doesn't make any sense. That's right.
The world has to change. It's overdue.
Yep, it is overdue. Again, we're live with Miss Linda Scheider, Funk from the Front Seat. Linda, I want to thank you. It's been a gorgeous hour, a great hour. It always flies by fast when I'm speaking with you. Again, for those of you out there, Miss Linda Scheider is working on some new music. She's got a blues thing, Corona Blues. Linda, if people want to follow you, how can they follow you? Where are your social platforms at?
Well, I just do Facebook. I don't do Instagram because I have so much going on in my life. I can't sit on the computer all day and do that.
Agreed.
I try to do it as much as I can, but it's just sometimes it gets to be too much.
Yeah, it does.
There's a lot of people that want to talk and have want information and stuff, and I try my best to be there. But I find like sometimes I'd rather paint or go do something else.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. If I didn't have to be on social media, I wouldn't at all. It's a whole nother job.
I don't tweet anymore. I used to. I don't tweet anymore. It just got to be too much.
That's right.
It's like I have to live. I can't be sitting in front of this computer all day.
That's right. I don't blame you.
That's not productive. I'm not being productive like that.
It's a whole nother job. It is. I say I should be paying myself to do what I do. Because it is.
Well, get you some ads and you'll be paid. Get you some sponsors and stuff.
I'm trying.
It'll work.
I'm trying.
Baby steps. You have to step into it.
Yep.
It'll
Yep.
work. It'll
Yep.
happen. I believe. I'm a believer.
Me too. Me too. Me too. And thank God there's people out you in the world like that to inspire us. Again, we've been live with Miss Linda Scheider, Funk from the Front Seat, on the 16th of this month. You know, we're going to actually, you know, try to blow it up on Facebook with a lot of music that Linda has done, and also for sure that, you know, Garrett is doing, and, you know, of course, Gary Scheider. So we're going to try to make sure that people recognize the 16th is very important. It's been a short 10 years. For me, it seems just like yesterday. And I'm so grateful, so humble, Linda, to have you. I appreciate your time. I know you're busy, and you know, one day we're gonna hook up and do some music for sure. I'm only a phone call away, so whatever you need, promoting or whatever, I'll always throw it. You can find Linda Scheider on Facebook.
And the same with me. When the stuff is ready, throw it on my page and let people hear it. I'll be there to help.
That'll work. That'll work.
Always.
That'll work.
Anybody else that has something they want me to try to help them with, I'm trying to put a platform together to give people some resources about how to get their music out, or publishing, or, you know, children's stories that they want to, you know, get out there. I'm putting a platform together, a webpage, hopefully very soon, so people can have the resources. And like I said, I'll help anywhere I can.
Yo, that's amazing. And that's a beautiful spirit in a beautiful world that's not so beautiful right now. But, you know, Funketeers, we stick together. Linda, we love you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're gracious. And Sonia says, love you. Big hearts. Brenda Roos. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? A lot of people are tuning in late. For you guys that are just tuning in, we had an hour with Miss Linda Scheider on Funk from the Front Seat. You can always go back on my Facebook page and watch it. If you want to get in touch with Linda and her new platforms, you can find her on Facebook as well. As her son Garrett is doing music. Linda, thank you. I appreciate you. And I'll give you a call, and I'll be in touch soon, okay? Stay safe.
Okay, much love, everybody. Thank you so much, Zach, okay?
Love you.
You guys be safe. Be safe, and much love always.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Funk from the Front Seat, yo. That was an amazing conversation with Miss Linda Scheider. You know, in the 16th, obviously, is the 10 years that Gary Scheider has passed on, but he's still with us. I never say in the past tense. And for all you guys out there watching and supporting this show, believe me, I love you. I appreciate everything you do. We follow each other on Facebook all the time. All the Funketeers, all my people from Strong Island, all my people from Texas are watching. Dave up in Philly, Phil is watching. You know, my man Curtis Wilcox that does a lot of the artwork is watching. You know, Sonia Murphy is watching. My friend Bob Eichhorn from Bayshore. Mark Lee down here, one of my business managers, is watching. David Brooks, Funketeers, watching. Michael Holmes, down in Florida, is watching. Believe me, we see all you guys. I love all you guys. Kimberly, how you doing, Kimberly? Nice to see you. She's watching. You know, a lot of people have been supporting this thing. Lance, my man Lance, you know, he tuned in. A lot of people that are supporting this. Tammy Taylor, how you doing, Tammy? My best to Gabe. Sophie, how you doing, Sophie? All the people that are supporting this thing, believe me, I love each and every one of you. I'm trying to use as many platforms as I can just to get out this positive affirmation. Know that you have to take care of yourself, even though you might not want to wear the mask. Just try your best to social distance and stay safe and healthy. Also, with the protests, they're peaceful. Don't let the government divide us, because that's what they're trying to do. And I think everybody sees through that now. To all my white, Latino, Native American, brown-skinned people, German, Irish, Scottish, it don't really matter what you are, who you are. Just know that positive affirmation and staying in the light will go a lot farther than staying in the dark. And if you're living in the dark, that's your own problem. That's a you problem. I'm not even going to try to go there with you. But there's so many of us that are in the light, we're going to overpower you. In November, it's very important. Your vote is going to count this year. Whether you believe in the system or not, I'm not going to get into the 7 families that run the world, but I just know right now, today, I can see if we turn out in November to vote like we're turning out at these protests, they are going to blow up the voting machines, because we're going to overwhelmingly landslide and get this clown out. And that's the most important thing. Then we could go ahead and try to, get some smarter people in there to try to fix things, because things are a mess right now. We're going to stay positive on this. I'm always going to try to leave you with something positive. Don't let your lying eyes deceive you, because what you see is what it is. And don't let people dissuade you. Follow your dreams. Follow your goals. Whatever they are, stick to them. Everybody that's on this thread, at some point, I had to reach out to, whether it was me being upset at night, or whether me crying on the phone, or whether people are helping me out economically. I'm not ashamed to say I love each and every one of you, and I learn from each and every one of you. And when you see me post something, believe me, it's very sincere. If I miss somebody, I'm sorry. Charge it to my head, not my heart, because you guys have kept me going and helping me keep the Nappyhead Funk Army afloat. We got some new music that we're trying to get out. We're just trying to figure out how to record it and try to finish and get on our shows and do what we do. Again, tremendous show. Thank you all for tuning in. Funk from the Front Seat, every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you guys. Nappyhead Funk out.
DC, y'all still with me? Are y'all still with me?
Get happy, y'all. Standing on the verge of getting it on. Standing on the verge of taking over the White House. What's happening, CC? Have you forgot about me? You don't need the bullet when you got the ballot. Are you up for the downstroke, CC? Funk from the front seat, y'all. Standing on the verge. Nothing but the funk on the one. Peace and love, y'all. I'm out.